Good morning. Thank you for hopping on our LinkedIn Live here. My name is Karen Greer. I'm CEO of Secure Content Technologies, and I have one of my very good friends and colleagues, Sam Hurd with Data Integrity Services, on this session with me today.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. And Karen, thank you so much partnering with me on this call.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
So one of the things we wanted to kind of talk to y'all about today is regulatory compliance. What does that look like in 2025? What are some of the top issues that we're seeing and we're addressing with our clients? Sam, I know that you're very up to speed on that, so you could list some of the top ones.
Well, I don't know about up to speed on that because compliancy is a changing, ever-changing animal, if you will, which is a good thing, I think. Innovation, technology changes, upgrades, and all the above. I think it really pushes that. On the other side of the coin, the threat actors, the bad guys, they're always looking to exploit weaknesses and security problems and security holes, etc. So compliancy regulations is going to be a constant changing animal, so to speak, to chase. But AI, for example, that's a scary thing. But then again, the new government that's moved in, President Trump, they're now looking at doing some neat things with AI, which I'm very optimistic about. Online safety, how compliance is going to continue to push that, along with child protection, down to the school level. There's compliance issues there. Antitrust, competition, operational resiliency. Supply chain is a big issue. That's always going to be a compliancy driven issue. Compliance by design, all that kind of stuff. And of course, you have the talent resources to help deal with all that. CMMC, GDPR, all that kind of neat stuff. So there's a lot of cool things coming. I like the fact that the security vendor that we're working with, Sophos, has constantly kept compliancy as a primary issue, if you will, to address and to meet. So that's some of the things that I'm concerned about, but yet also keeping an eye on.
Agreed. So you mentioned a little bit about supply chain, and there was a very large breach over the last week with PowerSchool and how that affected the schools, but it also affects the parents and the students themselves because all their personal information was received in this hack. And now we're seeing some of those repercussions where they're trying to open up credit in these children's names and all that brings along with it. So I do think, in my opinion, we're gonna see more of those threats come through supply chain, third-party companies. And that's why in our business, we stress with them, it's not just the big companies that need to be worried about this. It's you as the supplier to a larger company that's very much at risk.
Yeah, that's perfect because like DoD and deals with CMMC, which has been changed, different versions and different levels of 1, 2, and 3 now, I think, versus 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the past. CMMC is a great compliancy regulatory type of level. But now I've also seen and heard that education is going to have to start meeting, or the education vertical is going to have to start meeting some types of NIST compliancy to protect the sensitive data, which I think is a great, is one of those moves that is needed. Schools maintain sensitive data, student data, as you indicated. So let's put some type of compliancy regulatory type of level on these schools, which again, I like the fact that I can use a Sophos product to meet. And of course, Sophos gives deep discounts to the educational vertical, which makes me happy. I'm very happy about that, as you are. because if I can go into a higher ed or a university, for example, or even a middle school, high school, whatever, private school, charter schools, and provide them with the cybersecurity tools that they need to meet a NIST compliancy, it protects the kids, which is super important.
That is very, very important. I'm also seeing a movement now to really deepen the protection around personal devices, mobile phones, things along those lines. Are you seeing the same push for that?
I think yes. I've heard, and I think there's some noise out in the industry where vendors are looking at some type of cybersecurity by design or something that they can start embedding in their devices to help with a regular user or whatever, to protect their data on their cell phone or their tablet or whatever. I think that's the next step. Now, I don't know about multi-factor authentication being required on something like that, besides your banking, your own person, your own stuff, if you will. But the vendors themselves, or I've heard that there's some noise there about how do we protect our devices that we're selling to the general public. Is there a need for it? How do we do it? Encryption, for example, I think that's a perfect move. But to protect the devices, the cell phones, for example, or the tablets, would be great from the vendor's approach, if you will. So I do see that also.
I agree. I agree.
Very important.
Well, this has been a great session. We like to do these together, and I'm glad that we were able to work it into our schedules today. So thank you, everybody, and it's been wonderful spending some time with you.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, and have a great week and a great weekend. Thank you, Karen.
Thanks, Sam.